First of all, I would like to say Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. All of you. Selamat menyambut Ramadan Mubarak. Dan also saya mendoakan semoga rakan-rakan semua dalam keadaan sihat, jauh daripada bencana dan dapat menunaikan ibadah dengan sempurna. So this morning we are going to share about open book test. Mungkin Dr. Maima dah buat sedikit introduction. Mungkin saya pun nak perkenalkan diri saya juga. Some of you mungkin tak pernah tengok saya. Saya pun mungkin tak kenal sebagai daripada tuan-puan. But it's nice to meet you online today. Walaupun saya tak nampak sebab Cik Ismail akan tahu semua lah siapa yang ada tu kan. Saya tak tahu macam mana. Tapi tadi tertekan grid tu, saya nampak semua orang lah. Sekejap. Okay, so I'll try my best in this session. Mungkin bukan 2 jam, mungkin 1 jam. Pasti, depending on the materials that we have dan tengok the piece of discussion today. So, Dr. Maima.
Prof.
Nanti akan ada when I'm talking, saya tak nak ada macam banyak soalan. So,
okay. We can open for the session Q&A session at the end of the of your talk. Alright. Okay.
So in between nanti akan ada saya bagi a chance if say participants would like to give their opinion, their views, concern, okay. And then kita akan ambil lah benda-benda tu. And the rest nanti boleh juga chat. Nanti Dr. Maima akan take note dan saya boleh address lah at the end of the session.
Yes.
Okay, so okay, Prof. Today sebenarnya satu topik yang susah juga sebenarnya. My experience about this open test ni sebenarnya as a student lah, bukan sebagai seorang lecturer. So in terms of language juga hari ni saya rasa saya akan guna both languages lah. Ada switch BM in English juga, but the slides are in English. Tapi saya rasa saya comfortable juga bercakap dalam bahasa Melayu lah. What we are going to talk today is about this is the scope of the discussion today, introduction, definition, and what is it? Apa share ni? Slide saya hilang. Okay. So, then kita akan tengok sikit definition with construction and also type of test or exam. And then we'll be talking about the type of questions for open book test. Yeah.
Cuba Prof share balik slide tu sebab hilang tadi, ada orang cuba control tadi.
Itulah saya tengok klik. Okay. I'll try again.
Tak faham apa ni.
Where is my okay. Share. Okay, boleh je Mak ya? Boleh ke?
Boleh Prof. Nampak.
Okay. So these are the things that we are going to share today in this session. So kita jangan terikat sangat dengan masa because saya pun tak tahu how long I will take to discuss this topics. Cuma dalam keadaan sekarang where we don't meet the students face to face, so semua kita punya planning lari sikit lah, especially for those yang ada plan to have final exam in their pro forma kan. And these are some of the options that we have dalam COVID pandemic era ni. So we'll be touching about these things in the discussion today. So let's start with the introduction. This is when I first came to UPSI in 2008. Saya the first time dengar term kecurangan akademik. I was like, akademik pun ada curang ke? What is that? Okay, so academic dishonesty. Jadi kadang-kadang macam-macam cara students masuk exam hall. Sometimes they try to write on their palm, on their short notes, macam-macam lah kan. That's why, if you remember correctly, every time kita ada exam, kita ada peraturan kan, rules and regulations, the do and the don't. You should not be bringing anything to the exam hall, except your pencil case. Even the pencil cases also will be checked by the invigilators. Books, no, you tak boleh letak depan meja kan. So very strict. That's like conventional exam ataupun post-school exam. They are all familiar with that. But now, since we are in the COVID era, and I think closed book exams is not possible, right? So this is one of the options that we might want to think about as an alternative to closed book exams. So we want to know, to me, open book exam is not really new, because I've had experience taking the open book exams when I was a student in the masters and also PhD programs, of course, in the United States. But I must say that I don't like open book exams, because we have to prepare equally well as closed book exams. Sebab seriously, once we are in the exam hall, even though it is open book, we don't have time to flip through, because we especially when we already master the skills or knowledge, we might not want to waste time looking at those books. But for those who might, for some maybe might use useful, we want to look for supports and other materials to help them in attempting the questions. Okay, so by definition, we have found several. And it is actually an exam where students are allowed to bring notes, text, and or other sources, so not only books, okay, into the exam room. And it tests students' ability to find and apply information and knowledge, and are often used in subjects requiring direct reference to written material. Like probably for those in law, this is normal. They have to look at the statutes, and especially in statistics also, whereby we always have to refer to the distribution tables, and also for those doing law, we also have to look at the acts and so on. One thing is that the open book test is actually also teaches students how to find information when they need, and of course it is under significant amount of pressure. The pressure is actually time. That's why if I were a student, I wouldn't use much time to look at those materials, especially when you have a number of books in front of you. The tables are full of books, and you really, if you don't study, you don't know where to find this information, seriously, okay? So that's why, even though it is open book, you still have to study prior to the exam. You still have to prepare, even though it is a bit differently. You can mark the certain concept. You can use colored paper and so on, and so that it's easier for you to find later on. And also, the questions in open book tests are normally designed to teach students how to use their brains, meaning to say, it's thinking. It's not simple recall, that kind of thing. This is another definition of open book test. It is an assessment method designed in a way that allows students to refer to either class notes and summaries, or a memory aid, textbook, or other approved material while answering questions. These are the materials that is prohibited or not allowed into the closed book exam hall. Okay? So an open book exam can also mean that students are provided with the exam questions prior to sitting the formal exam, or are to complete as take-home exam. But take-home exam is slightly different in the sense that the time duration is sort of like 1 hour, 2 hours, so probably be like 1 week, 2 weeks. It's normally longer. So it's pretty much like the assignments that used to give to the students. So I would like to invite any questions or opinion that you'd like to raise up to here. Anybody? Can you hear me?
Yep.
Yes,
Prof.
Yeah, okay.
Only this, about the view. Can you change the view to slideshow view so that everyone can see it better?
Okay.
Thank you so much.
Okay, you're welcome. It's just that from here, I might not know how to go next. Okay. So, is there any questions, any opinion, or any other definitions that you have found somewhere that we can share with the group.
Hello Prof. Assalamualaikum.
Waalaikumsalam.
Okey, saya daripada UPSI, Fatimah. Okey, saya nak
Ya.
okey, saya nak tanya in case sebelum exam tu adakah bahan tu diberi terlebih awal ataupun on that day? Dan macam mana cara penghantaran exam tu?
Nanti kita akan pergi bincang kat bahagian tu, Doktor. Sebab kita nak start dengan definition dulu. Lepas tu nanti boleh kita fikir ways to do it and macam mana constraint, macam mana nak overcome lah. So kita bincang dulu ni ya. Okay. Anybody else?
Okay.
Sebab kalau kita nak bincang sekarang, it's a bit too early kan. Kita baru nak pergi kat definition. So nanti kita akan tengok issues apa semua lah, challenges kan. Bila nak bagi, sebab dia ada beberapa tadi, several types of open book test. Basically there are three. Pertama ialah offline, whereby we can actually conduct the open book test in exam rooms, like conventional exam yang biasa. So we can allow the students to bring book notes and whatever things that they think it might be useful to help them answering the questions. The second one saya rasa yang Dr. Fatimah sebut tadi regarding the online ke. So nanti itu ada lain sikit. So of course bila kita buat online dia pun ada akses kepada material yang lain juga dia boleh dapat. Dan kita pun nanti ada isu macam mana kita nak control and so on. Ya. The third one tadi yang saya mention earlier juga, take home exam, whereby we normally give them more time and normally the assignments, the tasks that they have to complete is a bit more challenging. Sometimes they have to collect data and so on. So this is quite similar to assignments yang kita selalu bagi. Why open book test ni? Okay, there are several reasons. So that lecturers or teachers can devise questions that require students to answer in more critical and analytical ways. So normally we don't ask knowledge level questions requiring simple recall, such as like where, what, when, so that they can flip easily from the book and just give back and then copy the answer. And thus, this is the open book actually encourage higher order thinking skills in our students as compared to closed book tests, where normally many questions are requiring simple recall and at the knowledge level. But there are also some pitfalls of this open book test because normally the questions are not easy to build. Teachers may have difficulties in developing effective exam questions that require students to apply their knowledge through analysis and critical thinking. Okay? So, seriously speaking, it's quite tough to develop this kind of items. I used to ask my students, okay, when in the assessment class, of course, whereby they have to develop items according to the Bloom taxonomy and so on, and ask them like which is easier, to answer the questions or to develop the questions, and they say, well, it's a lot tougher to develop items. Okay, and also another pitfall is that students may falsely assume that exam will be easy because they can open the books, they can open their notes. It's all marked there. So many marks are good. Sometimes we don't know where to find which mark. Colored everywhere. Okay, and also students will also find won't be able to find the answers in the textbook or memory aid sometimes. Okay, so this is the misconception that we have. Because I think when I was a student, I also had the same misconception at the beginning. Before I sit for the exam, and I thought it could be easier than closed book test, but actually no. It depends on the type of questions that the lecturer write for the students. There are some considerations when designing open book exams. The first one is questions should assess interpretation, application of knowledge, comprehension skills, critical thinking, rather than only knowledge and recall. Okay. Secondly, we can also make use of case-based exam questions that require students to apply critical reasoning skills in response to a triggered scenario. The third one is we have to devise clear and unambiguous questions so that students can spend their time making use of their textbook or memory aid to effectively answer the questions. The next one is that we also have to devise questions that require students to make use of the information from their textbook or notes rather than simply requiring them to locate and rewrite the information. This is something that we really want to avoid. That's why we don't like knowledge level questions in the open book, because we don't want to encourage students to just rewrite the information from the textbook or notes in the exam paper. Next is we have to design questions and overall exam paper with the learning outcomes in mind. What skills that we are assessing, what knowledge we are assessing. So strictly speaking, we have actually to go back to the LO and prepare our test classification table. Okay? So the procedure of test development, I think we have to follow just like any exam, whether it is closed exam or it is open book exam. Okay, any response up to here?
Prof,
Yeah.
boleh Prof onkan kamera tak? Dekat Prof punya bawah tu.
Ya.
Pakai kamera tu, Prof.
Manakah kamera ku?
Button
Ada mic.
Let me see. I click something that is gone. You tu nampak, tak boleh nampak you sekarang. Sekejap ya. Kamera.
Diorang nak tengok Prof.
Oh, tak nampak
Jadi Prof,
Tapi dah ni.
Dah ke? Tadi nampak ada blinking. Sekejap ya. Kat sini sekejap. Saya ada pause, share, assign, mute me. Kat mana Cik Ismail? Participant, share.
Sebelah
bawah,
mute
Prof.
tu ada. Bawah.
Sebelah mute. Sebelah mute tu ada video ni.
Yes, yes.
ada
Cuba
satu.
try.
Okay, I have to click this one. Oh, okay.
Alright.
Tadi, saya nampak tadi nyala lepas tu hilang.
Okay. Alright.
Assalamualaikum Kak Sally. Boleh nampak saya sekarang ni, saya orang bukan robot ya.
Okay, Prof.
Saya tanya, okay. So,
Prof, boleh tanya? Assalamualaikum Prof, boleh tanya?
Sila.
Okey, soalan saya ialah berkaitan Prof, saya Hailan daripada UMT. Saya nak tanya berkaitan dengan kenyataan Prof tadi tentang high order critical thinking tu, skill. Sekiranya kita punya MyCA, kita letakkan peperiksaan akhir hanya untuk knowledge 2, iaitu kefahaman sahaja.
Comprehension.
Dia bukan sampai level yang tinggi. Adakah kita masih boleh gunakan open book?
Ya. Dr. Hailan ya?
Ya, saya.
Okay, saya cuba respon ya. I might not be able to answer all your questions, tapi saya share saya punya opinion ya. Sebenarnya kalau kita tengok, kalau belum kita start dengan knowledge kan. Yang kedua understanding. Sebenarnya understanding pun sesuai. Sebab kalau kita cuba, dia yang kita nak avoid ialah simple recall. So mungkin dalam open book test ni, they can refer to the textbook in terms of support. Kalau macam ada cases dan sebagainya, dia nak refer kan. Ada similarities of the cases that represent dengan exam questions dengan case presented in the textbook ke atau notes. Tapi bukan sama betul kan. So that is understanding boleh. Walaupun bukan higher order, oleh kerana kita terikat dengan LO, tadi kita kata back to the LO kan. In the final exam, we only want to test up to C2. So that's fine. Boleh.
Okay, terima kasih.
Sama. Okey, ada lagi? Saya ambil satu soalan lagi atau pandangan? Okey. Mana saya punya headline pula? Sekejap ya. Okay, so we'll continue. Again, designing open book exam questions. This is an example about ways how we do bila kita nak design. Tadi saya dengar memang banyak isu lah. Dr. Fatimah sebut macam mana bila nak bagi soalan dulu, nak bagi bahan dulu dan sebagainya kan. Nanti kita akan sampai kat situ bila kita habiskan sesi ni. Okay, first, structure your exam questions around problem or scenarios of real world cases, requiring students to apply their skills and knowledge to the given problem and scenario. Secondly, provide information or background information on a given topic or area of study. So biasanya kalau kita buat soalan pun, even in alternative assessment as well, kita ada preamble kan, when we give the preamble, and then the students will get some clue what is related to, what concept, which topic and so on. If there's no information at all, it will be quite difficult for them to nak tengok topik mana yang berkaitan kan, the related topic. Okay. The thirdly is we have to present relevant qualitative or quantitative data, and then ask students to interpretive and application questions. Okay. What does the data show, for example? What relevance does this data or scenario have in terms of component of the current topic? And then some other examples we can ask, like, what other factors could potentially affect this data? How would you test for this? Okay, so these are some of the questions that you might want to ask the students. So kalau kita perasan, these are not knowledge level asking how simple recall kan. This requires understanding at the minimum lah tadi yang Dr. Hailan tanya kan. And also we have to structure content of topic, our topic in a way to test for ability. Saya ada gangguan sikit lah Cik Ismail. Ada gambar kawan-kawan yang kat tepi macam mana saya nak keluarkan? Dia tutup slide saya.
Prof boleh adjust dekat floating planar view tu, Prof.
Oh, kat floating ni. Saya punya floating kat mana? Sekejap. Tak apalah kot, susah pula. Saya tak kerti nak. So because it's covering some of my slides, some parts of my slides, tak boleh nak baca kan. Ada gambar wajah-wajah tu.
Sebelah kanan, Prof. Atas kanan.
Atas kanan sekejap ya. Saya kena minimize dulu. Ini. Siapa yang request lagi ni? I'm trying to minimize my slide ni so that I boleh dapat button tu.
Escape, Prof. Escape.
Okay. Sekarang where are you? Mana anda? Hilang slide saya. I better don't do anything. Nanti hilang.
Ada, Prof.
But I cannot see you. Tak apalah kot. Saya teruskan ya sebab entah aku hilang.
Prof boleh padam tak yang sebelah kanan Prof ni ada timeline satu. Sebab kita nampak petak-petak ni.
Ada pangkah ni?
Prof pangkah je.
Tak hilang
Hilang dah.
Okay.
The whole thing pun hilang juga. Where are you? Where am I?
Slide Prof nampak tak? Slide.
Nampak. Saya nampak. Okey, tak apalah. Itu teruskan dari sini je.
Prof, akan
Boleh Prof pergi sebelah kanan, atas sana. Button atas ke sebelah kanan. Ada yang bulat tu.
Malam ada. Pagi ni bila hari kejadian semua hilang. Biasalah kan. We have to anticipate. This is why maybe saya ni macam old thought sikit kot. Saya tak berapa suka online meeting ni. Sebab tak familiar sangat kan. Okay, tak apa. So, we will continue from where we stopped just now. Now we'll be talking about the level of questions in belum revised taxonomy. Kita pergi balik sebab I think in our LO, so most of us, we also follow this Bloom. We start from the knowing and remembering, recall knowledge of subject matter. Okay, so these are questions like what, where, who, when, where. This is what we don't like in the open book test. How many, okay, list, define. So they'll straight away go to the definition section and they will copy and write it back. Okay. The second level is actually the understanding or comprehension, whereby the questions normally demonstrate understanding by constructing meaning from information. So we require students to describe in their own words, explain how, give their own examples. So these are questions that belong to this category. What did X mean? For instance, when we provide them with chart or graph, and then we ask questions about those interpretation questions, also are actually comprehension level questions. Okay, and next we have the third one is application. Applying knowledge and understanding to a particular topic. This is what I said, blocking within my slide. Okay, so some other questions that you can ask them is like, how would you use? What examples can you find to something? How would you solve blah 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 using what you have learned? What would happen if? So these are all application type of questions. The next one is analysis level, whereby we require the students to examine different concepts and make distinctions between them. So some of the examples could be, what are the parts or features of something? What are the competing arguments within blah blah blah? Why is X different to Y? Okay, so it's still analysis. Compare and contrast, also it's analysis level. What is the relationship between A and B? Okay, which is the strongest argument? But sometimes we cannot see the verb alone. We have to look at the full context. Okay, what are the skills that students have to do to answer this question? That's why kalau kita tengok kata kerja saja kan can be misleading sometimes. In analysis we also find this. Then in the comprehension also we find this word. Okay, so we have to read the whole context. What is the task actually that the students have to complete, and what mental processes that is involved in attempting this question. Okay, it involves like breaking the information into smaller parts. Yes, it is analysis. It involves students having to apply certain principles or concepts to solve a problem. It is application, that kind of thing. Next, we have, why is my screen not moving? Okay, oops. Next one is the evaluation level or evaluating, whereby we want the students to make judgment about concepts or ideas. So we can ask questions like, what is the most important or effective? So in the process to answer these questions, they have to weigh the pro and cons, the good and bad. So they have to make comparison. So this is a evaluation level question. Which method is best? Again, they have to compare, contrast also as well. They have to know the advantage, disadvantages, and so on. Which is the strongest argument? And the last level of questions is create or create. In the old Bloom taxonomy, what do you call? I can't remember suddenly. Okay, so in these kind of questions, students actually have to develop new ideas from what they have learned and understand. So some of the examples could be like, how would you design blah blah blah? What alternatives are there to blah blah blah? What changes would you make? What would happen if? Suppose you could da 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 da. What would you do? Can you formulate a theory? Okay, so this is a hypothesis questions whereby they have to formulate a theory, or sometimes when they do some experiments, like in mathematics, for instance. So can you come up with a formula and so on? Or maybe in language, after reading the passage, you have to select a most suitable topic for that passage. It's also creating or create level, because they have to sort of summarize the whole thing and create one topic, one title. Okay, so it is not easy. Actually, I have attempted that. We give a very interesting passage, and MCQ, the answers are all logic, and I find it very difficult.
Alah, problem.
Kenapa, Doktor? Okay, ya? Okay, let's pause for questions and opinions. Any response?
Assalamualaikum, Prof. Saya ingin tanya sekali lagi.
Boleh tahu saya Thailand?
Saya Dr. Hailan.
Ya, Thailand.
Ya, saya ingin, adakah semua soalan-soalan yang diberikan tadi harus diberikan preamble, harus diberikan soalan umum dulu. Kemudian baru ditentukan soalan-soalan yang khusus. Macam saya ada tengok yang mereka bentuk soalan SPM kan, kertas 3. Jadi memang bagi soalan umum dulu. Belajar, melihat soalan, maklum tentang soalan umum, dan pada hari kejadian, baru diberikan soalan khusus untuk mereka menjawab. Adakah perlu begitu ataupun itu yang membawa makna berasaskan kepada soalan yang berbentuk ada problem, masalah-masalah yang diberikan lebih awal. Maknanya begitu ataupun bukan?
Okay, thank you very much, Dr. Hailan. Mengikut understanding saya lah. A test is a test. Jadi, sama ada you buat close book ke, open book ke, it is a test. Kita tak bagi soalan sebelum. Kan? Kita bolehlah bagi some clue, tapi topik semua. But normally we don't share the questions. It's very different from coursework, assignments, where we actually share with the students the questions, the rubric, everything we share with them. So in this case, bagi saya lah, exam, tetap exam, kita tak share soalan. And back to your question tadi, whether we should start with yang umum saya tak jelas sangat apa maksud tu yang umum tu. Kita akan tengok the type of questions nanti kan. So normally, bila kita sebut test, there are two big groups. Yang pertama ialah multiple choice, MCQ. The other one is yang open-ended, whether it is like restricted response ke ataupun memang open response macam essay tu. Okay, so yang maksud saya tadi, bila kita bagi soalan pertama essay questions or also structured questions, it will be easier for the students. Bila kita bagi present scenario, preamble tu apa dia, okay? So that it will be easier for them to try to link and relate it to certain topics that they have done. Adakah saya menjawab soalan Dr. Hailan?
Ya, Prof. Terima kasih banyak.
Okey. Okay, so tadi kita bercakap tentang belum, okay? But there are also other ways of asking questions. Probably kalau kita nak probe deeper into students' understanding. But I think in our context, most of us we don't normally ask all these questions dalam exam. Like in interview, sometimes it is more appropriate, okay? Because sometimes we need affirmation. Do you assume that? So kita nak reaffirm balik. So some of the questions kat sini ialah clarification questions. Some of the examples. What do you mean by? So meaning to say that we have already read their answer, their response, or we have heard their response. Barulah kita tanya balik. What do you mean by? Okay. So that's why dalam soalan bertulis probably it's not very suitable because we don't have, unless kalau macam soalan structured, kita dah tanya soalan atas tu, and terus kita nak tanya selanjutnya, what do you mean by the answer yang the previous answer? Explain, justify, okay, something like that. Next, some of the examples are also like, could you put in another way? What do you think it is the main issue? Could you provide an example? Could you expand upon that point further? Yang ini, okay, some of these kita boleh sesuaikan. Kita boleh gunakan dalam kita punya test juga. Yang mana-mana sesuai for certain subject. Mungkin dalam subjek macam law dan sebagainya. Next, we have also assumption questions. Why would someone make this assumption? What is assuming here? what could we assume instead? Okay, so some of the questions kita boleh fikirkan, apart from belum punya soalan tadi, kita boleh juga for certain subject probably some of the Socratic questions can be helpful also in improving deeper into students' understanding. And then the other type is questions that we want to know, requiring the students to give the reason or evidence. Okay. What would be an example? What do you think this is? What do you think this is true? Why? 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 What other information do we need? Could you explain your reason to us? By what reasoning did you come to that conclusion? Okay, so semua ni, I don't say that we have to use all this, but sometimes it could be useful in the process of redesigning the questions. Okay. Another type is we want to know the origin of the source. Okay, where the students get the idea from. Is this your idea, or did you hear it from somewhere else? Have you always felt this way? Has your opinion been influenced by something or someone? Where did you get this idea? Okay, so this we want to know the origin of the source. Probably like in courses like critical thinking, also this could be suitable to be asked to the students. Next is questions on implications and consequences type. Okay, like for instance, for example, what effect would that have? Could that really happen or probably happen? What is an alternative? Why are you implying by that? If that happened, what else would happen as a result? Jadi kita tengok some of these questions only suitable or more suitable in interview or in our research and so on. Or in, I mean, this is not written exam. Some of them are more suitable for interview. Okay, the last one is the viewpoint questions. So we have some examples here as well. How would other groups of people respond to this question? Why? How could you answer the objection that blah 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 would make? What might someone who believes blah 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 think? What is an alternative? So these are questions. Ya, gangguan sekejap ya. Kucing lah. Okay, so we will now come to the advantages of examination. This is a bit different because this is online, but I have another slide just now. I don't know whether or not is it. Okay, open book test. Okay, why people go for open book test? Of course, there are some advantages. The first one, it is less difficult on recall because they don't have to memorize too many facts. Because you remember last time when we attempt questions in mathematics, for instance, we have to remember all the formula, everything in closed book test, of course. But in open book test, you don't worry about the formula because you can always go back to the book or notes and you can find the formula there. Okay. Secondly, that's why I said earlier on, knowledge level questions are not favorable for open book test. And secondly, is that the second advantage is that it provides a second chance. We don't get a second chance to obtain knowledge because they have studied before the exam, but coming the exam time, they can still go back to textbook notes and so on, okay, to learn more, and also they can gather suitable learning materials rather than recording it, not just simple recall. But if the questions, the definition, definitely they will go to that definition section and rewrite it or retype it, because the kind of students, questions that we're asking them just require just simple recall. So that's why they have to get the material. The next one is another advantage is that it enhances retrieval skill because it helps in remembering things for a longer duration. Also, students will find resourceful ways to collect necessary information from different sources. But at the same time, it's very time consuming and it can eat up all our time. We'll end up like looking at those materials and won't be able to answer in time. Okay, that's one of the setbacks. Okay, this is about online. Just now we saw that there are several types. Some of the online, some of the open book tests, they are online, but some others is conducted in physical class as usual, just like the closed book test. Yes, so if it is online exam, of course it's safe paper. We don't have to buy papers and so on. You save time because for MCQ you don't have to worry about grading because it can be auto graded. But that can only be done for MCQ. Okay, if it is open response, of course we cannot do automatic grading, so we need time to grade as well. Where is my one? And also for online exams, some people say that it is more secure than class exams because students will get a random set of questions. But that will be difficult on our part as lecturers because we need to say that we have to have several sets of questions. Like for instance, in Teams, Transit Maths and Science Studies for middle school, we have 12 sets of exam papers and it's distributed randomly. So even though it is conducted in closed test style, the person sitting next to us will be getting different set of questions, so we cannot copy, we cannot discuss and so on. Okay. And the advantage is that if we are able to do this, different sets of questions, students will be able to share the questions and they cannot discuss, they cannot copy from each other. It's not moving now. Okay, these are some of the limitations of open book exam. The first one is it is difficult to judge whether all students are equally prepared. We don't know whether they are equally prepared for the open book test. And also, some books are very costly. Some students might have access to some books and some others might not. And books in the library normally are limited as well. So I think back to Dr. Fatima's question, I can link it here. It's related to that. I think it's only fair if we tell the students what books, references that are related to the exam. Okay, so let's say we have 20 number of reference books. We can expect the students to bring all the 220 books in front of them when attempting the questions. So yes, we can allow them, we can inform them the reference book, list of references, and they can bring those books to the exam. But here the problem is that the second problem is that if it is conducted in physical classroom or halls, the books and notes will take a lot of space. And normally, like our exam desk is small, it's rather small. And of course, they can accommodate all the books. So students might have to put it on the floor, and then they have to take back and put back and so. Okay, so a lot of I think. It can create like discomfort as well. The third limitation is it is actually time consuming because sometimes students take a lot of time finding some topics. It happened to me last time that I said I had experiences sitting for open book exam. That after 5 minutes I decided not to look at the books or references at all. Okay, because I'm wasting a lot of time there. And also this one, this is as I mentioned just one example. Sometimes it made us forget that time is running. We have to complete by in another 10-5 minutes. Okay. And this is about the online examination. I'm just like thinking aloud. In the current case of PKP, we are away from the students. The students are away from us, and then they won't be back until December or early next year. Okay? So I think it's quite difficult to conduct like open book test in conventional way. So probably online test would be more preferable, or at least they have to do it by computer, okay? Using computer, using internet, and so on. And but we have to admit that some of our students, they don't have access to those. In fact, sometimes the connection is slow. Even we sometimes experiencing it. So we have to think of how we can be fair to those students without internet access. So the online, I mean the online versus offline open book. Okay. I've talked about this, that we have to provide questions that can be reached from internet or book. We have to add a timer because it is an exam. So it is an exam. We have to provide certain time where they can answer the questions. We give them 1 hour, 2 hours, and so on. So probably it will be helpful if we can add a timer so that it will be they will be reminded, and once the time is up, they have to stop and it will be submitted automatically. Okay, and next, some of the other limitation is that for subjective items or essay items, of course, it cannot be auto-graded, and also we have to check it like more or less the same way we do for coursework exam. And the last one is it can be a victim of fraud, because online scams fraud is pretty common, but we can avoid this by using question bank to solve this problem. Okay, now time for questions and opinion and response.
Assalamualaikum, Prof.
Waalaikumsalam.
Saya Fahmi daripada UTM Melaka.
Oh, dia Fahmi jauh Melaka, sihat?
Ya, sihat Alhamdulillah. So, saya berminat tentang soalan online tadi, tentang isu internet connection.
Okay.
Jadi, salah satu kemungkinan yang akan berlaku adalah daripada katakanlah 100 pelajar, ada 2-3 yang tertinggal dalam ataupun sedang dia menjawab soalan tersebut. Internetnya putus dan sebagainya.
Okay.
Jadi kalau ini berlaku, bagaimana agaknya kita nak teruskan untuk 3 pelajar ni tadi?
Okay, thank you very much. Ini soalan susah ni. Soalan-soalan IT ni yang menakutkan saya. Saya susah nak jawab. Tapi saya pegang satu benda lah. We are an educator. We set the questions. We are the one who's going to grade the questions. We know our students' performance. I think in certain cases, kita kena allow for some flexibility. Let's say those yang memang tak ada connection, do we allow tak boleh dapat internet macam tu kan? Kita allow tak dia jawab dekat WhatsApp ke ataupun cara lain through Facebook ke through email dan sebagainya kan? So because you're talking about the rest of the students, let's say you have a 50, yang 57 tadi dah jawab dah ada online. So these 3 students, boleh tak you asal ada cara lain? So meaning to say kalau kita ragu sikit dengan dia punya kejujuran, ketedusan, mungkin ada cara lain lagi yang kita boleh control untuk memastikan yang ada evidence yang kita boleh perlukan daripada dia yang boleh menunjukkan bahawa kita boleh assess dia punya understanding tadi lah. So, jadi saya rasa saya tak ada jawapan yang mudah, tapi saya pegang kepada satu flexibility. Kita boleh fikirkan sebab the majority dah jawab dah. So tinggal these 3, so we have to find for alternative. I think cara yang sama juga, because right now let's say kita ada case tentang it's not case issue where we cannot have UPSI and PT3 in this year. Okay. So of course banyak cadangan, antaranya ialah kita nak buat online ke, ataupun kita nak bila nak buat pula because they say they're not coming back to school. Ini kita kena tengok alternatif tu. Kita nak guna online pun ada budak di pedalaman yang tak akan dapat akses. So what are other ways? Ada orang kata dia dah boleh buat mungkin yang paling tradisional, kita balik buat gaya post adabi. Okay, semua tu boleh buat. Tapi as a lecturer, sebagai test developer, yang kita nak tentukan ialah the quality of those tests, dan kita nak issue validity juga, nak tengok bahawa memang test itu menguji dia punya kebolehan. Okay, jadi kalau tak boleh satu cara, mungkin ada cara yang lain lagi. For instance tadi, dalam kes sekarang, where the students tak boleh balik ke sekolah langsung, ada tak kemungkinan kita boleh assess dengan cara lain? Nak exam tak boleh. Yes, true enough, PKP ada teaching learning going on. Guru-guru bagi exercises to watch that and so on. Kita ada TV pendidikan, but we have to remember coverage dia macam mana kan. For TV pendidikan, we have limited topics, we have a limited subject, and also the students have to sit in front of the TV to follow. And again, same problem, yang rural area maybe tak dapat. Remote rural area maybe they don't have access to TV pendidikan even. So what do we do with that? Lepas tu, sama juga kes yang online tadi lah. Jadi dalam kes ni, doktor, saya memang tak ada jawapan yang mudah lah. Sebab itu orang-orang kena bergabung sama sekarang. The IT people, so all the experts have to bergabung dan memikirkan cara mana alternatif to make sure that all our students boleh jawab soalan, boleh menentukan perasaan tu dan kita boleh menilai mereka. Okay. So kadang-kadang keadilan tu bukan bermakna sama dengan cara yang sama. Yang pentingnya ialah kita boleh menilai kebolehan dia kan. I think that's more important than having the same questions at the same time.
Assalamualaikum, Prof.
Waalaikumsalam.
Prof, saya Eshah. Saya nak tanya.
Doktor dari mana?
Saya dari JMP.
Okay.
Tadi Prof ada sebut tentang kriteria dia, macam mana kita nak design pitfall types and semua-semua tu lah. Cuma tadi saya ada post satu soalan tentang open book examination ni. Dari segi
ada gangguan, ada orang cakap. Orang lain boleh mute-kan mikrofon tak?
Doktor boleh unmute balik yang bercakap tu.
Okey, Dr. Eshah, boleh
sorry.
Okay.
Soalan saya ialah saya nak tahu tentang the time yang kita perlu bagi pada pelajar untuk bila kita set open book examination ni. Sebabnya tadi Prof sebut feature dia ialah untuk cognitive level yang lebih tinggi lah, C2, preferably C3 and above. Lepas tu kalau kita tengok disebabkan bila kita nak design dia punya soalan, kalau ikut guide yang Prof bagi tadi tu, kita kena come up dengan senario, lepas tu kita kena come up dengan soalan yang lebih kepada thinking question. Jadi thinking ni dia lebih memakan masa. Itu satu lagi kalau kita tengok bila student nak merujuk kepada sama ada code of practice ke ataupun buku ke, ini pun dah makan masa. Jadi selalunya guideline untuk open book exam ni kalau kita biasa ada 2 jam punya exam, normal exam paper. Jadi kalau kita convert dia kepada open book, berapa yang kita kena tambah?
Susah juga tu soalan, doktor. Okay, again, kena back kepada this is I have not found kalau saya jumpa nanti. Sekejap bateri saya low, saya nak connect bateri sekejap. Sekejap saya nak connect bateri. Bateri. Bateri low. Okay. Sekejap. Tadi masa doktor? Eshah? Is it about masa?
Ya, betul. Masa yang kita perlu allocate untuk exam tu.
Right. Saya sebenarnya, to be honest, saya kata saya tak biasa buat exam ni online. Saya biasa duduk saja. Again, saya rasa dalam experience yang lepas yang lama dulu tu, dia tak ada pun buat tambahan masa. Cuma mungkin ada sikit kot. Saya tak perasan je. Tapi kalau tengok dari segi soalan tadi, sebenarnya tak semestinya, not necessarily. Soalan tu mesti sampai analisis, sampai semua tu lah. But again, you have to go back to our LO. Dalam LO kita tu apa? Sampai di mana? So, kalau tak perlu, tak perlulah. Tapi kalau soalan yang memang high level, biasanya kita perlukan macam ada preamble, ada scenario, ada case Lepas tu kita kena present macam biasa lah, macam juga apa ni normal coursework exam tu kita pun buat macam tu juga kan. Cuma kalau to be fair, biasanya anything yang kita buat, kita ada try out kan. In fact, kalau macam kita tengok steps instrument development, item development pun, kita nak bagi masa, kita nak cuba berapa lama budak tu boleh jawab kan. So normally for the beginning kita akan cuba. And then kalau macam sesuai, kalau yang biasa lah, let's say close exam, kita bagi 2 jam, kita tengok student tidur lah. Maknanya 2 hours is a bit too much, banyak sangat kan. Sometimes kita bagi 2 jam, 2 jam tu tak cukup punya. I remember last time when I was first degree kan. So organic chemistry, physical chemistry semua kan. 3 hours exam. Memang nampak panjangnya, apa nak buat, apa nak tulis. Tapi bila kita dah duduk dalam tu, tak cukup pun masa ataupun cukup-cukup saja. Kan banyak sangat. So again, I think for the beginning kita kena try dulu kot. Berapa lama masa yang diperlukan. Sebab saya tak jumpa lagi satu formula yang kata how much time you should tambah. Tapi in principle saya rasa it's a bit fair jugalah kalau kita tambah masa sikit. Jadi lebih sikit. And to start with. Okay, Doktor?
Okay, thank you, Prof. Sebenarnya saya ada satu lagi soalan if you don't mind.
Okay, silakan.
Bukan saya nak jumpa expert. Cuma saya nak tanya, tadi dekat chat tadi saya ada nampak lah beberapa chat ada sebut tentang contohnya terms take home open book test ataupun PBL ataupun case based. Tapi tadi Prof ada bagi definition. Bila kita kata open book examination ataupun open book test, ini bermakna soalan tu tidak diberi sebelum peperiksaan tu ataupun sebelum test tu. Tapi kalau kita tengok dalam case open book, dalam case take home ataupun dalam case problem based, case based, scenario based, macam-macam lagi. Kalau kita tengok soalan ni kita selalu bagi dalam bentuk assignment, jadi dia soalan yang telah diberi awal. So macam mana nak hilang, saya cuma nak tahu kekeliruan tu je. Thanks.
Okay, thank you very much, Doctor. Okay, to begin with, saya rasa kita kena clear dengan terminologi lah kan. Dan kita cakap test ni macam normal testing lah. Testing biasa, sama ada dia, selalunya kita buat close book je lah. Okay, so sekarang ni kita nak cuba open book. So soalan masih soalan yang sama, proses pembinaan masih sama, student jawab masih sama. Bezanya they are allowed to use the material, buku, nota and so on. Okay. Lupa pula soalan apa tadi. Yang kedua, ada satu type lagi yang kita panggil sebagai alternative assessment. Maknanya cara dia lain sikit. Dia tak duduk dalam exam hall, dalam masa yang tertentu, kita bagi dia assignment, bagi kerja, kita bagi satu tempoh masa. We used to do this of course in higher education, selalu kita buat kan. Kita dah mapkan, kita buat pemetaan tu, in the performa, dengan apa, tekan juga ada yang apa tadi PBL and so on kan. To me that's okay sebab itu ialah bentuk assessment yang lain sikit yang bukan test. Itu ialah you bagi dia project, you bagi dia assignment, so that's fine. It is a form of assessment, but it is not a test, bukan peperiksaan. Macam juga ada same case, bila now tahap 1, primary school, year 1 to 3, we don't have exams anymore, that's fine. But assessment has to be continued. Assessment go on, so kita ada continuous assessment. The system is in different ways. Kita ada komponen yang bertulis, whereby we give the students written exercises. And then kita ada juga another component is the alternate assessment from the learning activities, whereby the students will do discussions, the mini project and so on, and the teacher will grade, ada rubric and so on. Okay. Jadi maksudnya saya rasa tidak ada isu dari segi PBL dia sebab it is not a test. Tapi dia satu bentuk assessment yang lain, so that's fine. Kita telah pun clearly I think map with the CLO kan Doktor kan. So apa saya rasa tak ada isu kat sini. Ya, ada lagi? Okey, kalau tak ada saya bergerak sikit.
Prof.
Ya.
Saya nak tanya tu, boleh tak macam kita bagi apa ni bayangan soalan tu lebih kurang macam mana the day before the exam.
Ni Dr. Fatimah lagi kan?
Saya.
Saya kenal suara awak. Okay, thank you Doktor. Ni kalau kita tengok kita punya common practice kan. Even kalau dalam course exam tu. Dekat lecturer, dengan guru dia bagi clue. Dia bagi bayangan. Setengahnya tak, dia tak bagi langsung. Dia kata soalan tu covering all the topics that we have discussed in class. Okay. Again, sepatutnya bagi saya lah, bila kita dalam LO tu dah jelas kan, what the skills that we are testing in the test, in the final exam and so on. Mungkin lah, soalan memang tak boleh share lah, tak boleh share. Tapi kalau kita nak bagi tahu topik, mungkin saya rasa boleh. But again, terpulang pada masing-masing lah, tak adalah dia kata, kadang-kadang ada orang bagi clue banyak sangat. Sampai dia rasa, oh senangnya. So the student terus fokus kat tu je, tak payah study benda lain. Kadang-kadang ni tak fair juga sebenarnya. Tapi again, it's up to individuals lah. Cuma saya, kalau saya lah personally, saya tak berapa suka lah discussing persoalan yang hampir sama dan sebagainya tu. So they are not really testing their understanding kan. Tapi kalau kita nak kata topik-topik itu mungkin boleh lah agak meluas sikit, but not exactly what they want to ask in the question. So, saya rasa the same principle dalam course book juga kita kena amalkan juga lah kot. Tak tahu lah doktor, atau doktor ada lain, ada pendapat lain ke?
Assalamualaikum Prof. Saya nak tanya soalan.
Ya.
Mana nak raise hand ni? Prof.
Mana kau tanya?
Saya Wan Mariam daripada USM. Saya nak tanya.
USM ya? Jauhnya.
Ya. Saya nak tanya. Can we start the question tu dengan what dengan how, which, macam yang contoh-contoh yang Prof bagi tu, because we need to have OBE punya assessment tu. So will it comply? Boleh tak kita nak guna soalan-soalan tu tapi dalam konteks macam what is most effective, which is the strongest argument and so on. Kita masih guna domain-domain spesifik tu tapi kita start dengan what. Boleh ke?
Again, sebenarnya saya rasa kita sebagai educator, kita yang ajar dia, kita yang buat soalan tu dia. Sebab tu apa sebenarnya kita nak tujuan soalan tu. So kalau dalam kita aktiviti biasa, kita buat kerja, the first thing is niat kan. You always start dengan niat. So, saya lupa baca doa tadi. Sama juga, bila dalam exam kita buat assessment dan sebagainya, we always start with the purpose. The purpose of having the assessment. Sebab tu saya kata akan balik kepada LO dan kita nak test apa. Kalau kita tadi soalan ni nak tanya why, of course kalau kita tak bagi case, tak bagi scenario, kita tanya why, budak tu pun apa nak jawab kan. So we have to be fair to the students also. Kalau kita dah bagi dia punya case and so on, boleh dia nak tanya why, tapi biasanya kita akan mula ada benda lain lagi tak nak tanya sebelum why tu kan.
Tak ada cuma what I mean is can we still macam kalau kita dah bagi scenario and then we ask so which method is best for example, tapi we can still use the word which tu tak, sebab dalam OBE yang kita orang belajar sebelum ni we have to always use perkataan-perkataan yang sesuai. For example, kita kena start dengan evaluate for example, ataupun dia yang OBE compliant ni lah masalah saya.
I see. Okay. I didn't get you correctly tadi. Okay. Sebenarnya dua case lah. Sebenarnya kalau dia kata wish terus pun, proses tu dia kena lalui, mesti dia kena evaluate dulu. Dia tak boleh jawab terus. Kan? Cuma dia tak guide the students lah. Probably kalau tanya saya, walaupun you tak tanya evaluate, tak beritahu, tak bagi dia clue tu, I still have to do that in order to come up with a choice kan. Okay, jadi oleh kerana kita ni ada OBE, saya rasa at the same time kita pun tak nak pergi lain sangat. Tak apalah, kita comply, ikutlah. Kalau dia kata dia nak evaluate dulu baru nak tanya tu, ikutlah kata. So itu my opinion lah. Sebab Kalau kita tak nak lah, kita tak nak tulis benda tu yang jadi isu, dan dia kata, oh sebab dalam ni, kata boleh tanya soalan-soalan macam tu kan. So saya rasa kita ni agak terikat sikit, tapi tak apa, kita ikutlah. Yang penting, purpose dia tu apa je kan, assessment. Adakah saya menjawab, Doktor?
So meaning dia tak boleh guna.
Boleh. Tapi dia nak ada apa ayat lain tadi So evaluate apa semua tu, lepas tu tanyalah why, sambunglah.
Okey. So maksudnya boleh tapi kita tukar sikit lah struktur dia.
Ya.
Okay, I get it.
Okay. Thank you. So any other opinion or concern or question?
Assalamualaikum, Prof.
Waalaikumsalam.
Saya tadi ada tulis kat chat tu, nanti saya sebut semula lah soalan.
Orang baru Webex juga.
Dia punya soalan berkaitan dengan skema kita tu. Adakah skema kita tu lebih terbuka? Contohnya kalau untuk soalan tanya pendapat kan. So of course kita akan dapati ada pendapat yang berbeza-beza. So macam mana nak nilai tu lah.
Doktor ni sebenarnya bertanya tentang berkaitan rubrik ni, Doktor.
Okay. Saya terlepas tadi kot.
Yalah kot. Memang saya tak discuss rubrik. Of course, whether it is open or closed or alternate assessment or whatever, kalau soalan tu tak ada direct answer, satu jawapan yang straightforward, memang kita perlu rubrik. Remember, in school, last time bila kita jawab soalan essay, soalan structure, dia ada yang dipanggil skema pemarkahan, marking scheme.
Ya.
Tapi yang marking scheme ni, yang itu dia memang memang ada, dia objektif lah sebenarnya, ada jawapan betul, ada jawapan salah. Okay. Easier. Tapi bila kita sebut ada setengah soalan tak pendapat, sebenarnya tak ada jawapan salah betul. So in this kind of case, biasanya kita perlu rubrik lah. So soalan bila kita sebut rubrik, kita akan sebut yang pertama, bila nak bina, kita akan tengok apa yang acceptable answer. What an acceptable answer could be. Kita akan ada kriteria dia, And then ada satu lagi quality level dia. Okay. And then next ada descriptors. Okay, so, kalau kita nak bagi dia for this criteria, kita nak bagi dia good, apa yang mesti ada. So itu tak boleh escape, tak boleh skip lah rasa. Kalau we have options, we need to have a rubric inbuilt.
Okay. Saya kena tengok lagi lah detail kan. Okay. Terima kasih.
Thank you, sama. So ada lagi ke?
Assalamualaikum.
Waalaikumsalam.
Saya Rafi'ah dari Unimas, Sarawak.
Unimas. Jauhnya, Doktor. Sihat ke orang Sarawak?
Ya. Sihat. Kami semua sihat. Alhamdulillah. Ya, jadi saya mungkin antara yang tertinggal juga yang rubrik tadi lah. Jadi soalan saya, perlukah kita publish rubrik tu kepada pelajar sebelum lebih awal lah. Sebelum pemeriksaan dan sebagainya.
Okay. Rubrik ni sebenarnya saya sebut tadi, tapi tak mendalam. Saya sebut seperti I don't address rubrik as a separate topic dalam session ni. Biasanya kita tengok kalau kita buat assignment, project and so on, we develop the rubric together with the questions. Kita buat sama-sama. So that kalau tengok soalan ni, rubrik kita nak jawapan macam ni, ada tak dalam soalan ni require this? So we can go back to the questions and check and refine the questions. Sebab we have to be fair. Let's say in the marking scheme, kita kata mesti ada 3 contoh. But we didn't mention that in the soalan. So kita akan pergi balik ke soalan, we refine the soalan. Okay. I'll give you one example juga. Last year, bila kita ada satu higher institution lah. Dia kata dia minta students interview satu tokoh pendidikan and then you have to provide the evidence. Saya tanya dia, kalau saya bagi evidence saya dalam bentuk audio recorded, boleh tak? Dia kata tak boleh. Kalau saya bagi video, tak boleh. Kalau saya bagi gambar, tak boleh juga. Tak boleh, but I provided evidence. So dia kata actually apa dia nak ialah transcript. So kalau macam tu, dalam soalan tu, you kena mesti sebutkan. Dia harus provide kita kena tulis satu transkrip temu bual kan. Kena sediakan. That's what I mean. Dalam kes ni, dia tricky sikit, dia bentuk soalan. Bergantung pada bentuk soalan yang kita bagi dia lah. Kalau soalan tadi bentuk macam PBL dan sebagainya, memang kita boleh bagi rubrik. Assignment kita boleh bagi rubrik share dengan student sebelum dia keluar pergi collect data, pergi buat assignment sebelum dia mula and so on. Okay. Tapi bila test ni, it's like sharing the marking scheme with the students tau. Kalau ada tak dalam test kita buat macam tu, kalau close test pun. Close test. So, saya kata biasanya kita tak share lah kot rubrik tu. Sebab ini test, ini exam. Okay. Tapi kita boleh buat soalan tu sedetail mungkin apa yang kita require daripada dia. That will help the students, I think. Rather than just writing in one sentence to one paragraph, kita akan detail out what we expect from them. Okay, that we think will somehow guide the students to answer the questions. Cikgu, saya menjawab soalan doktor?
Alhamdulillah, saya faham.
Okay,
terima kasih, Prof.
Salam Sarawak. Okay, saya teruskan sikit ya. Why is it not moving? Okay, so Alhamdulillah kita pun sampailah kepada conclusion session today. So we have two big group here. One is the open book test, the other one is the closed book test. So we are talking about tests. We are not talking about assignments or other form of other tests. Okay. So I confine the discussion today to tests, open book test and closed book test. Okay. So whatever test it is, ada benda-benda yang kita jaga that you have to comply, yang you have to ensure the quality. Okay, and the principles in test development and so on, we have to follow. Of course, we cannot sacrifice the validity, the appropriateness of the item or the test that we give them, and also the reliability, meaning to say the consistency of the result, and also the interpretability. So if they manage to answer these questions, if we give them an A, what does A mean? So people can interpret. We ourselves can interpret and we can share it with the students and parents or whoever needs the information. Okay, and also in terms of administrability, we also have to think of this. Terutama kalau kita nak kendalikan online and so on, we have to think from all aspects because we want to be fair. I forgot one thing. There's actually another point here is fairness. Okay? Fairness is of course one of the principles that we have to fulfill in any test. Okay. For instance, we don't want to have tests like favoring a certain group of people, those in the urban areas, and it's actually depriving people in rural areas, such as in the case of online exam. Okay. And we don't want tests that favoring the boys over girls and so on. Okay? So another point I would have add later on, under the quality, the third one should be the fairness. Okay, third of course. Okay, fairness of the questions of the exam. Okay, so Dr. Umaima, I think I have
Yes, Prof.
completed my session. So kalau ada lagi Q&A, kita boleh buka lah kot.
Yes.
Okay, I may not have answers to all your questions, but I would give my opinion, my personal view, okay? Dan saya pun nak belajar juga daripada kawan-kawan yang hebat-hebat semua, that from different universities in Malaysia. I'm glad to see people from UMS, from USM, from UPSI, UTEM and so on. Maybe ada universiti lain juga yang saya tak sebut kot.
UMP pun ada, UMK pun ada, Prof.
Pun ada, Alhamdulillah.
Ini ada. Those yang you have any question, please raise your hand ataupun tanyalah Amir. Okay.
Waalaikumsalam warahmatullahi.
Assalamualaikum, Prof.
Waalaikumsalam. Siapa ya? Saya nampak Dr. Iwan Ghazali, UTEM. Okay.
Kita ada juga Prof Karim with us, Prof. Prof Surya ada juga daripada UMK.
Okay. Saya nampak sekerat je, nampak 4 je dalam saya punya screen.
Okay, alright. So tadi ada seorang yang nak tanya question ya, please. Ada problem.
Assalamualaikum, Prof.
Waalaikumsalam warahmatullahi.
I'm Fazila from UNIZA, FPT UNIZA.
Akhirnya UNIZA dah.
Okay. I don't know whether I missed up some of our discussion because the line is on off.
Okay.
But then I need to ask about the rubric for the online test.
Okay.
Because when we handle a question for some kind of an open book test, the question might be a very high level of for the taxonomy bloom.
Okay.
To clarify, to understand, to whatever. But then the answer might be very subjective towards the relevancy to any point. So we cannot just state it, to be very fixed with with what we call it, scheme, the answer scheme.
Right.
So how is it, Prof?
Okay.
Thank you.
Again, thank you, Atta. Thank you very much. Again, this is still about rubric. Sebenarnya, okay, in developing open-ended items or essay items or alternative assessment, whatnot, there are several challenges. The hardest part is, of course, to come up with a good, relevant, and creative question. The second difficulty is to come up with the rubric. It's tough, it's difficult, it's not easy. Writing a rubric is not easy. We have to really understand the questions, and we have to ask ourselves, what do we expect the students to respond? How they should respond? Okay, so normally we will start with what's the acceptable answer. So when we ask about that, what are the acceptable answer look like? We'll be actually thinking about the criteria. Okay, and for each criteria, we'll have to define how the good one should be, how the excellent one should be, the below the unacceptable, the poor, and also the sort of weak. Okay, so there is no simple way of writing a rubric unless we have the questions in front of us, and then we will try to write the rubric. Okay. So another thing is that we cannot do it alone actually. If we have several people teaching the course, it's a good practice that we develop together the rubric. In fact, it's also good to develop the rubric together with the students. It's a good practice in alternative assessment, so that they know what's expected of them and what they will be assessed on, based on, okay, and so on. What's the question, yes? I missed it. Sorry, Doctor. What's your point now? What's the question?
Sorry, Prof. Some question might be very subjective in terms of answers. There will be no right or wrong answer for certain questions.
Yeah. Okay.
Thank you.
Okay. So in cases like that, you can actually make your rubric more flexible. You identify the criteria and you will write in the descriptors. Normally what we have is like the acceptable answer should be containing this, and that the descriptors should be, the criteria should be like this, and the details will be there. And next we'll have the good ones, how it should be. Still on the same criteria, but of course the descriptions will be different. The descriptors will determine the quality of the response. And also we will have like something below that. Below acceptable means the unacceptable one. How does an acceptable answer look like? It does not have the introduction, for instance. It does not discuss the content and so on. So I agree with you that some questions there's no right or wrong answer. That's why earlier on I did mention that for some questions that have the right wrong answer, it's more objective. Probably we just need a marking scheme, not a rubric. But for questions that actually is more open, requiring ideas or opinion and so on, probably you need a rubric. Okay. So again, I think that looks like rubric is a good thing actually. Many of us are also grappling with how to write a good rubric. Because we have to examine the questions closely. We have to ask ourselves repeatedly what kind of answers do we expect. So, and once the answers arrive, actually we have to like choose the best possible answer, how it should be, the worst possible answer that will make the quality level, the differences between the responses from the students. And I mentioned earlier on that it's a good practice that we do together, because we also practice this in the moderation of marks and so on. Sometimes, let's say, we have,
Must be yours.
we have several lecturers teaching the subject. Okay. Some other lecturers will be very strict. There are some also very lenient. So how do we moderate for those? So sometimes they happen actually lies in the ambiguity of the rubric. Because I understand it differently, you understand it differently. That's why I give a different score, and my friend give you a different score, and you give a different score. So by practicing this, I think over time we will achieve mastery in writing rubrics, good rubrics. I don't know whether or not I answer your question, Roger.
Thank you anyway, Prof.
Welcome.
That's good. Good idea.
Thank you.
All right, any more questions? We have another about half an hour before our session ends, so please feel free to take this opportunity to ask Prof a question regarding to open book test.
Assalamualaikum. Can I ask a question?
Yeah, sure, Amira. Dr. Amira?
Yeah. Yes, Amira from Universiti Malaya.
Oh, okay. Alamak, takut ni.
Saya sebenarnya banyak sangat belajar. Thank you so much for the webinar. We learned a lot about open book test. Prof, saya nak tanya, I'm actually having a bit of a dilemma sekarang ni. Initially, I was thinking of doing sort of like a online test for my students, tapi panjangkan masa and supaya tak ada jadi isu kalau terpotong internet or anything like that, and secara tak langsung that test or that would be open book simply because you know they are at home. But then I also got another idea to actually give them, macam tadi Prof ada sebut, kita boleh bagi alternative assessment where we can give them a project or a case. And so right now, I am trying to decide between which one should I use for my continuous assessment and which one should I use for my final examination that I declare as final examination, and which one I declare as continuous assessment. Pada pendapat Prof, mana yang lebih elok? Is it better kalau yang I was thinking of doing maybe like a series of 10 quizzes macam tu and add up the marks. And the other one is to do a macam small project that they have to reflect about. Boleh dapat pendapat Prof?
Okay, thank you. Thank you, Dr. Amira.
Thank you.
Soalan dia susah semua pagi ni kan. Because I myself am asking the same questions pada diri saya sendiri lah. Okay. So, I think banyak consideration kita kena ambil lah bila kita nak decide which kind of test is better. Every now and then kita kena buat decision.
Amir, I think you have to do this one lah, Amir. Hadis lah. Quiz tu. Kena buat lah, Amir. Sebab dah due dah. The whole week last week tak buat langsung. Kena buat lah, Amir. Please. Muka elok sikit. Please. Jangan buat muka main marah macam tu.
Apa kan? Gangguan ada gangguan.
Cari. Cuma tak nampak wajah kan. Okay. Sebenarnya soalan yang susah lah. Tapi kita selalu fikir ada alternatif. Kena ada alternatif. And saya nak pegang satu prinsipal yang saya lupa nak type tadi kat sini. Is fairness. Fairness to everyone taking the exam kan. Of course, kita when we met the assessment tu, kita dah fikir dah. Okay, this LO will be achieved from project. This one from this assignment. This one from final exam and so on. So sekarang ni I think yang project tu can go on. Tak ada masalah walaupun PKP. It's just that kalau project tu perlu mereka keluar collect data, that will be issue. Sebab dia tak boleh keluar rumah. For instance macam ni lah. I have my students, we have to do like a gym. So half of them dah sempat present dalam kelas, dah mengajar teaching in the class for PKP. But the other half dia dah balik rumah. Balik rumah dia tak ada, there's no way for them to out and teach. Tapi kita boleh buat flexibility, we can allow for flexibility of course. They can make use of their siblings, ke anak saudara and so on, if they buat mock teaching. So they will prepare macam biasa. Of course, the students might not be able to respond as needed according to the level. Kan? That's fine because we just want to see the skill. The purpose is we want to see their teaching skill. So I'll allow them to videotape those mock teaching dan hantar. Okay. Tapi kalau that's fine. Tapi kalau yang perlu keluar kelak data dan sebagainya, kita kena fikirkan cara mana lah. Cara mana yang kita boleh gantikan benda tu. Cuma bila exam tadi, kalau kita nak gantikan dengan exam juga, the 20% or 30%, I think kena buat exam juga lah. Tak boleh ganti, kalau saya lah tak berapa favor sangat nak ganti dengan projek. Takut projek tu lebih susah daripada exam tu. But again, I think tak ada, you yourself have to weigh the context of your students and later on decide yang mana yang lebih viable lah. Okay, saya tak ada jawapan yang mudah lah doktor untuk tu. Banyak consideration yang kena buat kan. Sometimes projek tu dia boleh buat dekat rumah. Sometimes dia boleh buat online, dia boleh collect material online. Sometimes dia boleh buat interview pun online, dia can collect data online. So they can still do that. Dia boleh buat melalui Google Form and so forth. Jadi saya kata tadi tak kena assess benda-benda tu semua. So individual lecturer might find different situations with the students and decide which one is the most suitable for the student. Adakah saya jawab soalan doktor?
Ya, membantu juga. Kalau saya boleh tambah sikit je lagi, Prof nak tanya. Actually, project saya tu, it's not really a project. It's more of, I'm teaching organizational communication. So, I was thinking of asking the students towards the end of the semester, bagi dia satu case, maybe case communication berkenaan dengan COVID-19 ataupun online learning di universiti ataupun di peringkat college kediaman masing-masing or even di peringkat jabatan ataupun kelas, and I wanted them to actually identify the different organizational communication elements and concepts from the case, and then to give their like critical reflection ataupun their analysis of how the organization communication took place, bagus ke tak bagus ke. So that was the reason I was thinking nak buat dekat hujung as exam, tapi at the same time saya rasa macam would it be better kalau instead of saya bagi as exam, saya declare tugasan ni as continuous assessment.
Okay. Thank you very much, Doktor. Saya rasa kalau itu niat dia, I think sesuai juga projek dia nak bagi kat students tu. Cuma whatever it is, kita selalu linkkan dia dengan LO lah. Apa yang nak capai. So this time kita tak buat exam, open book tapi kita ganti dengan satu projek lain yang masih matlamat dia sama, mencapai LO dia sama. I think that shouldn't be a problem lah.
Thank you so much, Prof. Terima kasih.
Doktor. Ada lagi ke?
No.
Lagi soalan? Boleh kemukakan kepada Prof.
Assalamualaikum Prof. Me again. Okay, to Dr. Mira, mungkin I can share something because you know UNIZA also had a had a what we call it a training program with another college. And then they are thinking about the final exam as well through online. But then the problem is if we do it online, we currently afraid of the line might be on and off.
Yeah.
Then what we are thinking about is we deliver the question, let's say for 2 hours, and then they will be given a time to answer it, and then what we call it email their answer scheme to us. That's the best way that we can think of. That's my suggestion. How's your opinion, Prof?
Thank you very much, Dr. Fadila. Kawan-kawan UNIZA tolong jawab kan. Okay, I think online exam ni ada beberapa perkara yang kita bukan tak boleh buat, boleh buat. Tapi ada beberapa perkara yang kita kena fikirkan, kena ensure that the students themselves are the one answering the question. Bagi saya lah, bukan saya bukan orang IT, bukan pandai sangat IT. How do we know that the students themselves are the one who answer the question? Bukan adik-beradik dia, bukan abang dia, bukan kakak dia, orang lain lah. Mungkin orang IT boleh bagi pandangan kot. Ada siapa dalam ni nak bagi pandangan tak?
Assalamualaikum.
Waalaikumsalam.
Saya Fahmi daripada UTM tadi.
Okey, Doktor.
Saya pernah terbaca satu kaedah di mana setiap yang mengambil test ataupun exam online ni perlu ada satu apa dipanggil tu video yang mereka sedang ambil exam tersebut.
Oh, okey.
So, memastikan bahawa bilik dalam ruang tersebut tidak ada bantuan daripada siapa-siapa lah.
Oh, okey.
Tapi mungkin practicality-nya saya tak sure lah macam mana kan. Itu saya baca je lah.
Terima kasih. Thank you very much. Because otherwise dia akan jadi isu dari segi validity lah. Kalau orang lain yang tolong jawab, kan. Dia ada beza sikit dengan computer based exam tu. Kita jawab kat komputer tapi kita disimpan dekat disk. Itu kita duduk juga misalnya kalau dalam comprehensive exam selalu ada macam tu kan. Yang online ni saya punya isu itulah. Saya tak pasti kalau macam IT people boleh bagi kita assurance dan ada cara yang kita boleh pastikan yang itu ialah students kita yang menjawab. Satu cara tadi yang Doktor pernah terbaca tadi ialah ada video yang kita nampak gambar tu memang itu budak yang menjawab kan. Tapi dalam kes tadi yang dengan connection putus sekejap, hilang sekejap and so on tadi memang ada banyak isu lah kot. Macam mana Tapi ini bukannya soalan yang kita boleh jawab hari ni lah, yang kita kena fikirkan. Maknanya when we are building the questions nanti, we design for the open book exam ni, kita kena fikirkan semua segi itu, semua masalah, semua issues yang mungkin berbangkit. Dan barulah kita fikir whether it is viable or not to have an open book exam as an alternative. Kalau budak tu balik tak apa, belum balik depan kita buat physical the physical classroom, physical exam hall, tak apa, tak masalah. Yang online ni yang kita susah sikit nak control. Because kalau macam in the conventional way, walaupun di open book, we have the invigilators sitting in the same hall kan. Harus boleh control. Tapi yang online ni lah. Thank you very much, Doktor, bagi respon tadi.
Assalamualaikum.
Waalaikumsalam.
Saya Karim daripada UPSI.
Ini Prof Karim ke?
Ya,
Prof Karim. Malu saya dengan Prof Karim. Tipu kita kan?
The issue, saya cuma nak menyampul sikit tentang the issue of sama ada pelajar itu sendiri yang menjawab ataupun sama ada
okay. Thank you very much, Prof.
Meniru kopi dan sebagainya. This is actually a very common, frequently asked and also the major concern lah.
Okay.
In USM actually we take this opportunity because of this COVID ni. Yang mana ada exam component tu, we reduce exam component to around 20%.
Okay.
The idea is to actually instead of high stake, we make it as a low stake.
Okay.
And because of it's a low stake or low stake, so we do not want to bother too much or concern too much about students' copy dan sebagainya.
Okay.
Now maybe this is the opportunity we can really educate our students to really learn about the integrity. And empower them, give them the responsibility to be responsible, and uphold the integrity, learn about being honest dan sebagainya. Because despite all the technology yang kita ada sekarang ni, memang kita ada yang saya nampak lah gunakan macam-macam lah all the artificial intelligence punya ni video dan sebagainya.
Okay.
Tapi sampai bila we want to watch over their shoulder kan?
Yeah.
And when is the time or the right time or the best time that we can educate them, teach them about integrity? Then we are actually concerned about only a small number of students yang buat kerja ni.
Okay.
In fact, kalau ke dalam exam pun, dengan berapa ramai orang jaga exam pun, masih lagi ada yang kita tangkap dia orang meniru kan. So I think this is about time. I think we try to give the responsibility to our students, to be honest dan sebagainya. Terima kasih, Prof.
Thank you very much, Prof. Prof alias from USM. Sebenarnya saya pun fikir macam tu juga lah. Terutama dengan COVID ni kan. Kita ajar supaya kita lebih bertanggungjawab. Saya setuju lah dengan apa Prof Karim sebut tu. Cuma kalau kita bayangkan actually not everybody will be cheating. Sebab kalau dalam rumah dia pun bukan semua orang boleh jawab soalan tu. Kebetulan maybe kalau ada siblings yang in the same bidang ke apa, then maybe they are of help. But otherwise memang tak boleh lah. Adik dia, kakak dia, siapa kalau bidang-bidang lain tak mungkin boleh jawab soalan tu kan. So I think we have just to learn to trust our students and at the same time try to develop higher integrity in them, and also because this is all about empowerment kan. Memang kita kena buat benda-benda tu, and also we'll try to minimize lah peluang untuk kecurangan akademik tu. Sama juga even in research paper dan sebagainya, kita selalu jumpa ni kan plagiarism and so on. That happens. Tapi kalau dengan ada misalnya kita ada turn it in and so on, so that can be minimized and can be controlled. Okay, so ada pandangan lain?
Tambah satu lagi, Prof. Sikit lagi.
Ya, Doktor.
Cuma when come to exam ni.
Prof Karim.
Sorry, Karim.
Okay.
Cuma when come to exam ni kan, kita mungkin perlu rethinking. Sebab for all this while we talk about self-differentiated learning, different learning style, personalized learning dan sebagainya.
Right.
But when come to exam, actually kita gunakan konsep orang kata one size fits all.
Right, very conventional kan.
Semua orang kena buat exam yang sama.
Right.
How come when come to exam there is no such thing as personalized exam or differentiated exam dan sebagainya.
Right.
So I think the exam now need to be considered in a different light,
Right.
thinking. Yeah,
Thank you, Prof Karim. Ada differentiated exam tu untuk pendidikan khas, untuk anak-anak keperluan khas. Sebenarnya you are right. I tend to agree with you. In fact, kalau kita tengok exam ni sebenarnya is I think getting unpopular dah. Because people worldwide dah bercakap tentang alternative assessment, so they need continuous assessment, not so much on the exam. In fact, kalau kita dah mula untuk tahun 1, 2, 3, tahap 1 tu, it's perfectly alright, tak ada exam. You can do continuous assessment, and from the components of written exercises and also alternative assessment from classroom activities and so on, if you map carefully with the SKP, the curriculum, macam kita LO lah kan. And then we do all the rubrics, and then we assess students while they are doing the activities. The results is so much more detailed, whereby we can actually identify the strengths and weaknesses of the students, not only the marks. We can identify which competency is lacking, which one is okay, and so on. Jadi we have shown in our study last year that with the continuous assessment of PBB, Pentadatan Belajar, is much better than peperiksaan. And because I think it's fairer also, students are not assessed only during the examination, they are assessed throughout, continuously. And also we have shown that by doing PBB itu sebenarnya continuous assessment, it fulfills the three purposes of learning, assessment of learning, assessment for learning, and assessment as learning, where all these three cannot be obtained from the exams. exam can only assess assessment of learning, okay? Only one. And if they want like results, data results, so everything can be shown from the record. Okay, so one of the important things, of course, is to keep the records and evidence. Okay, so that anybody want to access the records, it is possible at any time. It's not just like exam. This is how you perform on that day. It's like it's just imagine like the difference between the continuous assessment and examination. Okay, we have still picture taken from a camera, so only is the action on that particular moment. Okay, but if we have assessment, continuous assessment, it's like a video, the movement, the progression, the development of a child. Okay? So it's a lot better actually than examination. So that's why I think we should not worry too much, and we should not give overemphasis on examination because there are other ways of assessing student performance. Okay. Any other ideas or opinion or concern?
Prof,
Yeah.
saya cuma nak tambah sikit lah dengan apa yang Prof Karim sebut tu tentang examination as high stake. And it is good to hear that USM is actually moving into reducing the percentage of examination yang high stake ni. Cuma saya nak share pengalaman saya bila kita run some workshop on curriculum design. There have been for the past 2 years untuk universiti dari luar negara yang dia ada franchise di Malaysia ni. Most of them are concerned about, bila dia tanya saya soalan, universiti kami sekarang ni diarahkan untuk dalam satu course tu hanya ada 2 assignment saja, tak ada final exam. And actually most of the time my answer to these participants is that it is great lah. Saya sebenarnya sangat sokong lah. Dan kalau kita tengok pun sebenarnya kalau dalam kita punya sistem yang terdahulu yang kita ada, contohnya guidelines kita on the MPU contohnya. Dalam MPU kalau kita tengok contoh dalam tu ataupun guideline yang dah ada tu, examination memang dilimitkan hanya dalam 30%, and it can also be in the form of continuous test lah. Tak semestinya final exam yang kita test memorization sebab dia lebih kepada measuring affective domain. So kalau kita reflect balik semula, sebenarnya apa yang berlaku sekarang bila kita dah dalam keadaan distance learning ni, sebenarnya kita dah mula diajak kepada untuk memikirkan how kita punya final exam tu sebenarnya kita nak reducekan ataupun if we can move away from final exam, because macam Prof cakap, kita sebenarnya lebih kepada assessment for learning ataupun assessment as learning, because at the end of the day it's about the development of the graduate attribute ataupun development of the learning outcome itu. Sebabnya kita tahu high stake ni dia tidak begitu banyak membantu dalam development of the graduate attributes. Saya rasa itu je lah yang saya nak tambah sikit. Cuma ada interesting chat dekat dalam ni tentang cheating tadi tu, sebab ada yang tanya kalau misalnya dia nak kena buat presentation, dia kata student selalu minta untuk pakai purdah. Jadi tak. So saya punya jawapan tadi tu, saya kata di end of the day macam Prof sebutlah, kita berbalik kepada learning outcome dan juga berbalik kepada rubrik. Jadi kalau misalnya learning outcome itu tak ada kena-mengena dengan nak ukur facial expression ataupun dalam rubrik pun tak ada mengukur perkara-perkara tu, I suppose kita boleh pertimbangkan dengan wajar lah. Dan juga sama juga dengan jawapan kepada soalan yang terdahulu tadi tu, bila kita tanya high level thinking, apa ni yang soalan-soalan hot ni dalam open book exam ni, selalunya kita tak adalah kita pakai skema jawapan. Bila kita kata skema ni dia berbeza dengan saya tak tahu sama ada saya betul ke tidak lah Prof. skema dengan rubrik ni dua perkara yang berbeza lah. Sebab skema ni contohnya macam jawapan tu kalau dia sangat objektif. Objektif ni maknanya dia ada satu jawapan. Tetapi kita tahu bila kita buat open book examination ni ataupun bila kita pergi kepada soalan-soalan yang lebih terbuka ataupun semi-structured, maknanya jawapan itu boleh lebih terbuka. Dia tidak ada satu specific answer to that. And because of that, at the end of the day, kita bukan nak melihat kepada ketepatan jawapan kepada satu answer tu. Tetapi kita lebih melihat kepada apa yang kita nak ukur yang macam Prof cakap tadi dalam learning outcome tu sendiri. Kan? So, at the end of the day, memang macam Prof cakap lah, it's the development of the rubrics ni lah satu kompleks yang sebenarnya kita nak perlu ada upskilling. So, thank you so much, Prof.
Welcome. Thank you very much, Doktor. Sebenarnya, saya nak bagi satu contoh lah. Selalu orang tanya saya bila saya bagi talk juga, kawan-kawan tanya, apa beza skema pemarkahan dengan rubrik? Contohnya dia buat matematik. Dia ada soalan. Okay. Memang melibatkan kemahiran proses matematik. Okay. Kemahiran proses matematik ada 5 tu. From communication, from perkaitan and so on, sampailah problem solving. Tapi dia ada satu jawapan betul saja selalunya dalam matematik ni. So jawapannya sama ada betul atau tak betul. Kemudian dia boleh itemizekan, ni langkah ni berapa markah, step tu boleh berapa markah. So saya rasa tak perlulah susah-susah payah sangat buat rubrik. Sebab rubrik ni benda yang agak subjektif yang kita nak weigh, nak tengok kriteria apa, nak define the criteria in the descriptors and so on. So tadi balik nak sentuh juga soal doktor punya idea dalam purdah dia saya suka juga tu. Sebab we have to go back to the LO and the criteria. Okay. Dalam kriteria tu facial expression tu ada markah tak? Sebab kalau tak ada, tak kisahlah dia pakai apa benda ke. Okay. Sebab anything important in the answer, kita mesti letakkan dia dalam kriteria. Kalau nilai adalah penting, kita kena masukkan nilai dalam kriteria. Anything unimportant, kita akan keluarkan. Okay. Sebab itu sebenarnya memang kritikal lah. Kita punya kemahiran membina rubrik itu sangat kritikal. Sebab over time kalau kita selalu praktis, kita buat bersama-sama, kita akan dapat kemahiran yang baik lah untuk membina rubrik ni. Dan kita yang tahu sebenarnya jawapan yang paling baik should contain apa benda. Jawapan yang paling baik macam mana. Kerana satu ketika seorang rakan kata dia dalam subjek saya, dia kata sejarah contohnya kan. Macam mana letak kriteria sebab dia tak ada konten. Dia banyak kemahiran. Dalam konteks ini maksudnya kemahiran itulah kriteria dia. So instead of knowledge, you punya criteria will be skills. Okay. So the criteria can be skill, can be knowledge, can be nilai, whatever that is important. Okay. Related to that question. Yang kita fikirkan perlu ada dalam jawapan yang mesti ada. Otherwise dia tak boleh diterima jawapan itu is unacceptable. Okay, itu yang saya nak tambah sikit lah. So saya jemput, ada masa lagi ke Dr. Umanma?
Sudah pukul 12 tapi kalau ada one last question from participant before we end the session.
Okay, ya, silakan.
Anyone who have any idea or opinion boleh kita share together in this session.
Assalamualaikum, Prof.
Waalaikumsalam.
Ini saya saja nak share masa saya degree dan masa saya master dulu.
Ini Dr. Iwan Ghazali. Dari mana ya?
Oh, saya dari UTM.
UTM, aktif lah orang UTM pagi ni.
Terima kasih, Dr. Prof. Ini saya nak share masa saya degree dan saya master dulu.
Okay.
Ada buat open book, bahkan take home exam.
Okay.
Masa tu memang soalan yang dibagi kepada kita tu soalan yang memang susah sangat lah. Ada student bagi tahu kalau lebih baik kita close book daripada open book kalau macam ni susahnya. Tak jumpa pun jawapan. Ya,
saya pun mengalami juga.
Lepas tu dia pun bagi masa, dia bukan 2 jam, 3 jam, tapi esoknya dia kita kena submit.
Oh.
Jadi
panjang lah masa dia.
Memang bagi keleluasan. Dan dia bagi penilaian tu bukan, saya tengok dia bukan ketepatan, tapi macam flow dia cara berfikir menjawab tu.
Lebih kepada thinking lah.
Lebih ke argumentation, macam mana dia melakukan problem tu. Kalau tepat memang susah lah kalau open macam tu. Itu saja saya nak share. Ada yang juga kami
Yes.
open book take home examination pun ada masa tu. Banyak
Ah.
cara. Itu saja Prof nak saya share.
Okay, thank you very much, Dr. Ikhwan. Apa ni, itulah saya sebut tadi. Memang saya kata tadi soalan-soalan yang sesuai ditanyalah higher order thinking skill plus course. Tapi again, kalau kita punya LO untuk final exam tu tak sampai kepada yang create, analyze, pada evaluate, tak payah kita buat soalan sampai tu. Cuma kita cuba nak elak tadi yang melibatkan simple recall that we can get the answer directly. Kalau kita kata misalnya provide your own example, itu mesti contoh dia sendiri, it cannot be obtained from the book. Kalau kita dapat ambil daripada buku direct, kita akan terima, tak akan dapat ada markah kan. Okay, so itu maksud saya, kita sesuaikan soalan tu dengan LO lah yang kita targetkan. Okay, thank you very much. Saya tak tengok Dr. Umaymah, saya tak tengok you sampai ke sudah.
Oh ya, tak apa. Nanti kita jumpa Prof. Alright, so saya baca ada satu mungkin cadangan daripada Dr. T.S. Azwan. Cadangan katanya permarkahan bagi FE khususnya soalan berbentuk SA selain skema permarkahan dan rubrik, skrip jawapan student diterima secara online dan dicek through Turnitin juga.
Ya.
Itu antara cadangan beliau lah.
Oh, thank you very much. Itu okay tadi ya.
Dan anyway, to all participants, we did share the Prof slides previously, so boleh find the link. Saya dah tak ingat kat jam pukul berapa, so please feel free to download the slides provided by Prof Siti Eshah just now. Right?
Okay.
So again, Prof.
Yeah.
Okay, saya buka lah my camera, Prof.
Okay.
Tak nampak lagi. Alright. Okay, apa khabar,
okay.
Prof?
Saya pernah jumpa doktor tak ni?
Saya rasa macam saya pernah jumpa Prof kat mana. Habis tu UPSI twice.
Oh, okay. Mungkin lah saya pernah tengok lah rasa.
InsyaAllah.
Okay.
Alright. Okay, so thank you very much to Prof Siti, Dr. Siti Eshah Mokshein from UPSI kata for today's sharing session on the open book test. Also, we have supports and opinion from Professor Dr. Karim Alias from USM. Thank you very much, Prof. We do have an opinion and supports from Dr. Eshah from UM as well, and not to mention others. Thank you very much, everyone. So we have come to the end of the session. On behalf of E-Learning Unit, the Data and Digital Development Center Ecosystem Digital and Center of Development Talent and Innovation, UMP. So thank you very much for your participation, and I hope to see you all again in the next sharing session. Inshallah, UMP will conduct another online talk on other topics which related to exam soon, like portfolio and alternative assessment. We are going to have like penilaian berasaskan video, another pembinaan soalan berasaskan taksonomi. It's from the Professor Insinyur Dr. Abdul Aziz Abdul Rahman, TNC HEPA UM soon. And not forgotten rubric for student assessment from Professor Madya Dr. Fauzia Abdul Rahim UEM. Also development and validation of rubric from Dr. Adiba Abdul Latif UITM. And definitely we'll share the promo of the mentioned online training course with everyone soon, especially in Magnetic and also Meta group, inshallah. All right. To all everyone, salam Ramadan from all of us, the Unit E-Learning dan juga Center of Development Talent and Innovation UMT. So thank you very much. Prof Siti, terima kasih banyak-banyak kerana sudi menerima undangan daripada kami dari UMT. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Waalaikumsalam warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Thank you very much.